Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to PM Personality Profile. My guest tonight, he is an economist, an administrator, a writer, a marketer. He is former Director General and Rector of the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, GIMPA. He is former Chairman of the National Development Planning Commission, NDPC, currently CEO of the Ghana Christian International High School, Professor Emeritus Stephen Adei, my guest tonight. I'm really delighted to see you, Prof. It's been a while. How are you doing?
Doing well, given the age.
Well, I know that you've retired, but I also know that you've been very busy. What have you been up to?
A lot of things, of course. You see around, I'm a farmer.
Yes.
Not only here, I do a lot of farming on my own.
Okay.
Again, of course, public sector service is in my blood. You may accept that there's a difference between when you are not retired, you are paid. When you retire, you work for free.
You work for free, for God and country.
For God, family and country, which is the motto of Ghana Christian International High School. I do a lot of writing. Even in May, 3 books of mine were published. That's the GIMPA story, Living by Strategy and Managing Your Life, which we think that it's time for us to share a legacy for others to follow. So, but of late, my wife and I have just completed 9 books for children, teaching children how to read. Yeah. And they have all been printed in Dubai. They should arrive probably by the end of January. Okay. And then I can go to redeem myself before Honorable Aduchu, because I've promised him for ages.
And he's been waiting in earnest. Yes. So those books are supposed to aid young children to read and write in 6 months?
Normally, especially if parents take charge, using those series within 6 months, a normal 5 to 6 year old becomes literate. Okay. I did it with my 4 children when they were younger, but of course, when your children grow up and you are paying school fees in the university, you forget other people's children until my grandchildren came. And then I found that it still works. All my 2 older grandchildren, by the time they were 6, were totally literate. That means they can read any book. Okay. They may not understand all of it, but they can read physics, chemistry, medicine book at the age of 6. Okay. And my wife and I feel that one of the legacies we should give to children in Ghana and the Ghana Education Service is to get these books and then teach how to use it and then let it be for public use.
I know there are other books that you're working on as well.
Well, we've worked over 30 books already, so with this 9, it's more than 30. But I'm doing a major work now. One is a major work on the Bible. Okay. I happen to be a theologian.
Yes, of course.
And I'm doing a 1 chapter per day reference for posterity. So I'm working on that one. I have a few economic and social works also on the way. But at this moment, the next 3 years, this Bible study guide is going to be my pivotal one. The rest will come along.
And the project on GIMPA, the GIMPA story?
Well, that's, the book is out. It's up to those who are managing GIMPA now to learn from it. Okay. And if they want some of us to help, we will help for God, family, and country.
I'm much interested in the GIMPA story, but first I want us to talk about your recognition. I mean, a number of them: Leadership Excellence Award, Fellow and Patron of the Chartered Institute of Marketing, Doctor of Letters from GIMPA. It must have come with a lot of commitment and hard work.
Oh, I thank God for those ones. Those things, they always come as a surprise. And I believe that if you are a Christian especially, you don't go for awards, you serve. Yep. And if other people recognize it. But sometimes too, people have worked hard and they have not been recognized. So we must be very careful when you are noted. Yes.
You're so right. But the GIMPA story, you, during your tenure, actually transformed it. I mean, from an institution that was small, under-resourced, into a successful organization. I mean, how did you do it?
First of all, I'm saying it was a privilege to be given an opportunity to be the head of a public service school and to also transform it into a university. But let me acknowledge two people. First of all, my first council, they used to call them Court of Governors, headed by Mr. B.K. Mensah, with Mrs. Dr. Sylvia Boy and Ratins were excellent.
Okay.
Excellent in two ways. First, they allow me, if they don't allow you, I was doing things which had not been done before.
Yes.
And secondly, even when I made mistake, say, please, young man, don't. And so this is the first class of people that I must acknowledge. The second is that I had some good staff.
Okay.
NSK Mensah, Dr. Lawrence Kanai, people like, what is his name, Dr. Joe Mensah and the rest. So even though I had some challenges with some workers, there were a few faithful people, and they did a lot. Kanai and NSK, for example, in charge of consultancy, can sometimes work till 3 a.m.
Oh, wow.
And they will come and put the document under my door. Wow. Because I normally sleep at 8:30 and wake up at 4. Okay. I tell them, I cannot stay with you. But if you put it there, I'll wake up at 4 a.m. and work on it for about 4 hours. Okay. So I think that and of course, both the NDC government, people thought that I was appointed under Kufuor administration. No, I was appointed under NDC under the Lawrence administration in 2000. Okay. Except that, Fofi and Twabam, when they appointed me, maybe it was a bad or good on me for them, then they lost power. Okay. So I worked under Kufuor for 8 more years. And when Kufuor's term came to the end, that December, I turned 60. Okay. So people think that, I was appointed by Kufuor and then went with Kufuor. That's no. Yes, I work under him. But I thank God for both administrations, especially Honorable then Vice President Atta Mills, and then under Kufuor, especially also with Jacobi Chebilante as Chief of Staff. I mean, not that they came and said, but their attitude and their support, and all of them will come to GIMPA. They had better places, but not like today they go to big hotels. They will come and have their cabinet retreats and everything in GIMPA. In other words, they wanted to encourage you. Yes. And so I was blessed. But that aside, it was a hard work. You had to keep to the vision, distractions, you have to ward them off and do the best that you can. I was doing everything. I was cleaning with people. I was teaching along with them, apart from my executive job. But
once a teacher, always a teacher.
I love teaching. So therefore, you can't say that I'm the vice chancellor. And no. As for classroom, you can't take me out.
But what's the motivation?
Yes, seeing results, lives being transformed, having an impact on your country. I mean, these are the rewards. I had a driver, no, not a driver, photographer in GIMPA. Many people think that we should be working for, yes, when you get the money, it's a byproduct. But for me, the results, the lives changed and the rest. And even today, let me tease you, I can say that Honorable Babin and Honorable Osewusu were classmates sitting under my feet. Doing their masters. I mean, what else can you
It's
do?
fulfilling
It's
than
fulfilling.
this.
And when I see Honorable Babin putting the, what they call order. I say I'm failure. So, I mean, and especially in GIMPA, when you have these people as students, I was learning more from them than myself.
Okay.
So I taught them leadership 1, leadership 2, I would teach economics and the rest. Okay. Because, and most of the time, you are discussing with people who really were very experienced and they contributed as much as. Okay. And if you have a good teaching, you don't go and just give lectures to such big men. Yes. You interactive and other things. And it was a ball. It was hard work. Yes. But I enjoyed myself at GIMPA. Actually, for me, work is hobby.
Yeah.
So I never get bored or tired
with work.
I wake at 8 o'clock, 8:30. I fall dead asleep for 8 hours, even to now. That's what I do. And then I wake up.
That means you have enough rest as well.
And then 4 o'clock, spend time with the Lord, and then work begins. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Today I was up by 3:37 to be exact.
Interesting to know. But I'm also happy that you were also chairman at the National Development Planning Commission. What has happened to our 40-year plan?
Actually, simultaneously, I found myself chairman of NDPC, chairman of GRA, and a member of the Judicial Council.
Yes. All in one.
Well, first of all, the 40-year plan was never published. It wasn't concluded before Honorable Kwesi Botwe of blessed memory's term. They decided to resign, which I thought they shouldn't have resigned. When we took over, we looked at it, and it was such a voluminous book, 465 pages or so. I said, look, no matter what is in it, the politicians won't read it, let alone neither the civil servants. So we did not throw it away. We extracted the essence of it and did a very short directive one we call Ghana at 100.
Yeah.
But Ghana at 100 was the same as the 40-year plan.
Okay.
Because their 40-year plan was ending at 2057, when Ghana will be 100 years.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Ghana at 100.
So we summarize it into that. And so there's a document called Ghana at 100 and published it. But sad to say, honestly, the problem is not NDPC. The problem is that our politicians are not interested in anything long term.
Okay.
We didn't even have opportunity to present it to the president, and they dissolved the NDPC and brought in another set.
Wow.
So, so the problem is not that we don't have the capacity and the plans, but those who should own it will not. And while we were doing all those things, the senior minister was the one in charge of Ghana Beyond Aid. You see, but if you do Ghana Beyond Aid on the Safumafu, you think that when the Safumafu is not there and another person is there, they will have anything to do with it. So they are not interested in strengthening the National Development Planning Commission to do a bipartisan direction for this country, which at least will guide everybody else. And that is one of the bane. And eventually, believe it or not, I asked to be relieved of being the chairman of NDPC. Because I can't waste my limited time doing things which I know will be fruitless.
And of course, for a man like you who believe in results, that would be very disturbing to continue with that.
But it's painful that our politicians are interested. At this moment, everybody is talking about 2024.
Yes.
And most of them is,
elections.
To get also the chance for state capture and to enrich ourselves.
That's all that matters.
None of them is saying that. At this moment, we are in a serious economic crisis. Both sides are just fighting. This is the time you go to America or anywhere else on such times, whether you're opposition or government, is how do we save Ghana, shorten the crisis so that the Ghanaian will get a relief. No, 2020, breaking the aid or, Mahama Babiu.
Stopping the breaking of the aid.
It's a sad.
It's indeed a sad spectacle. But also, you were board chair of the Ghana Revenue Authority.
Yeah, a privilege to serve that.
Definitely. How was the experience like?
Wonderful. in two ways. As from the day I went there, some people within there thinking that the transformation we are embarking may affect them negatively, associated with some useless tabloids. And every week there was something about me. Oh, they know my foreign accounts, I'm stealing money into it and everything else. That was one track. It was quite interesting. I says, why are you crazy? if you know, oh, they know the account number, everything else.
Oh, really?
And you won't give it to the Ghana police.
To come and arrest
him. Just so that was the side, and some, I might say, one or two people within who were just political ideologues. Just, but that was one side. The other side was that there was opportunity with the mainstream to institute certain policies which I hope will positively affect the organization. For example, for 3 years we were there had not been, before us, there had not been any promotion. How can you have not done evaluation of staff for 3 years. Another crazy thing was that until we took over, and when you go to one GRA office, you say it's a small tax office. So if you are not considered to be a small tax office, you can't pay. You go to another place, it's the medium tax office.
I see.
Then you go to another place, it's a large tax office.
Wow.
I mean, some phenomena, we couldn't understand it. But we ended up now, it is only one taxpayer's office. I mean, how can someone bring money and you tell the person that, you know, this is a small taxpayer's office, so you can't get the money. I'm take the money away. So there were a few fundamental things we did, which I thank God. But for us, the full year is the first time I know in Ghana's history whereby what the government expected in the budget, we exceeded it by 3 billion.
Wow.
And of course, the thanks was very great. At the end of it, we were dissolved and asked to leave.
Maybe we should look for you again, because I mean we've never met our target, and recently with the VAT increment, the 2.5 increment, many have questioned why we need an increment, because the blame has been that
the correction,
the GRA has not been
successful in actually implementing,
ensuring compliance.
Yes.
And they've always burdened the few, about 40% law-abiding citizens who want to pay their
less
taxes.
than 40%.
And left the over 60% who have always evaded taxes off the hook. And so you're always burdening us. And so we didn't even need the 2.5 if we had done our work well.
Well, I think that there's a point there, but I wouldn't big area of taxation other than that we will finish. But in the area of VAT alone, we are collecting less than 20%, probably at most a quarter.
Why? Is the GRA not up to the task?
So that is where we were focusing, because you have to make it electronic. You must ensure compliance. I hear that recently they went to China Mall and closed it for not compliance.
Definitely.
And when they reopened it, within 1 month, they collected what was being collected from there for 1 full year in 1 month. You go to the average Chinese. I'm not picking on the Chinese, but this is the place I've been. You go to a Chinese restaurant and they ask you, do you want to pay a VAT or not?
Yes, you do.
Yes. So I agree with you. There is the need for compliance. Take property tax. The rates are too low. You have a house in West Legon, and they bring you 2,000, at most 2,000 rate. No, see this a year. And even when you don't pay it, nobody will come after you. So there are the rates, some of the rates, not VAT, must be improved, but the compliance. And you have to do so. That's where I must say I support what Dr. Bawumia is doing. You have to do more digitization and ensure that these things are done. I mean, when we had 100,000 NAPCOs, I said that you should be using the NAPCOs to make sure that they go and collect the taxes. And if they don't collect the taxes, you don't pay them, they don't go on strike for not having been paid. So I agree with you. There's a lot. And it's obvious. At least, given this tax rate, we are not correcting at least 30 to 40% of the taxes, which at current rate we should. So I agree with those who think that it's not so much increasing the taxes, but making sure that everybody pays and they are compliant.
Right. So between 1986 and 1989, you worked as a senior economist at the Commonwealth Secretariat.
When I finished my master's, I worked with Ghana Investment Promotion Center,
GIPC,
which used to be called Capital Investments Board, for 12 years. That's in between, of course, I did my doctorate. And I think that the experience there was very, very important, especially being mentored by Dr. Kwame Donkofojo, a Ghanaian who became a de facto Minister for Finance under Champon and became the Ghanaian President of African Development Bank. And his mentoring was great. And you were asking me...
I mean, the take home
from London.
Yes.
The first is that I found that if you worked well as a Ghanaian, the same experience serves you well internationally. Because I went to London and it was almost like working from one office to another office. And so it was such an opportunity and a joy for us to go there. And also, of course, there you have an international atmosphere. So you learn from other people. And that, for me, was a good one. And most of the time, we were serving the Commonwealth Finance Ministers' conferences. And whilst I was there, I was responsible for World Bank and IMF affairs. So again, it exposes you to the IMF workings, the World Bank, and the rest. So it was a privilege to...
Professor Emeritus Stephen Adei, my guest tonight. He is the fourth of 7 male children. And he says where he was born is now a bush. Why so? Wait for me. When I return from this break, he'll be telling us all about it. He has a very interesting story growing up, eating ampesi and fufu every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Ampesi breakfast, ampesi lunch, fufu dinner. Excellent.
When I return from this break, he'll be telling us all about his growing up in Shiremwase and his lifestyle and family values. Stay with me. I'm coming right back. Welcome back to PM Personality Profile. My guest still Professor Emeritus Stephen Adei, and we've been having some interesting conversations here. I mean, your name Adei straight away gives you up from Ashanti region, right?
Yeah,
which part of the Ashanti region do you hail from?
But Adei can come from any Akan area. So it's a 40-day lunar month. So therefore, Akweside, and that is the 40th day. But I come from southern part of Ashanti. In the traditional area is called Adansi. And my father originally originates from Dwabi in Ashanti, but settled in Shiremwase. And married my mother some 3 miles away from Akwasrem. So I call Shiremwase my village, not my mother's or my father, because that's where I was born, bred.
Butter and cheese.
Yeah, this idea of, you know, some time ago you came from here and there.
And now you are from here.
Nanotiosribo sometimes want to give me a cane because he's my distant cousin and I don't go to Dwabi.
So your parents were farmers?
Yes. Peasant farmers. Everybody in my village was a peasant farmer. Occasionally we have people like Katie Hammond's father, who is was a carpenter from other places, and then a Fanti, and then others who come in as, you know, cocoa hands. But the indigenous, everybody was a peasant farmer. We were not artisanal.
So whilst at Shiremwase, you say that it's now a bush. How was the place whilst you were there?
A very lovely, small, clean town, a village of about 14 or so, 15 houses. But we were not on the roadside. Actually, I was about 25 years. We moved from there to the roadside. Come and watch small.
How the cars were passing.
So where we were born, of course, was left and it became a bush. But interestingly now, the village has grown and so touched almost the old place.
Okay. I see.
Yes.
Quite interesting. So, how would you describe growing up in Shiremwase?
Well, to you it may sound, but to us it was normal. Everybody was, by your standard, poor. We go to farm, we come, we eat, we play under the moon. We go to the village primary school. If your parents were enlightened, because someone wouldn't even send their children. Then you reach P6, that's the highest you can go.
Okay.
Then the next town, Brofiedru, had a middle school.
Okay.
And you won't believe that about 6 villages have to compete for space in that one school. And then we went there for 4 years, and then you finish, and most likely you will become a farmer. But if you will pass, and if their parents could afford, go to secondary school, but couldn't afford.
Okay.
But I got admission to a post-middle school training college, seriously, and that was a wonderful breakthrough for me.
Okay.
Because with the help of advice of teacher Amwa from Nkonya Urapon, which is my second adopted town, I went there, and that's where I did my SETE O-level, A-level. So in 4 years, I could come and see the light.
I see. Quite interesting. But it all started at the Methodist Primary School, yes, right? In Shiremwase. Okay.
The school is still there. Yeah.
Okay.
But now we have a GHS, and we have one of the best secondary schools in Ghana.
Kind courtesy, Professor Adei, right?
Well, and my wife, and the board of Ghana Christians. So, and for the past 5 years, 5 cohorts of graduates, only 3 human beings didn't pass all 8 subjects first attempt.
Wow.
And last year, for example, the year before, 100% straight A's. We have even 3 graduates from Ashasi University MasterCard scholarship.
Interesting.
Someone is going to medical school this year from Shiremwase.
Shiremwase.
Actually, so my greatest joy is the school in Shiremwase.
Oh, there's
so that
nothing like going back home.
30 to 60 people qualify for university from just 12 villages.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is amazing. It is. But I also know about, I mean, you not having that continental breakfast and all that. So you eat ampesi in the morning, ampesi in the afternoon, fufu in the evening, and all that.
That's in Shiremwase now.
In Shiremwase.
Now, occasionally, if you give me a British breakfast, I'll bless my soul with sausage. So don't say. Yes, at my home, and my wife is a home economist, he won't let me eat them, but he allows me to eat it. So if you invite me to Brisky,
you eat? You take some continental breakfast.
No, not continental. British breakfast.
English breakfast.
English breakfast.
Okay.
You knew that I went to school in England, in Glasgow, and worked in London.
Definitely so.
So I've acquired a taste, but I still like mine.
You have to. In Shiremwase, I mean, I know there were fun moments. There were also terrible moments, I guess. How would you describe, I mean, the environment growing up?
To be honest, I never thought that there was a terrible moment. We had a lot of fun.
Okay.
I mean, eating papesi for lunch and breakfast was normal. Everybody ate it.
Yes.
And fufu. And my parents were hardworking.
Okay.
We never got. There's only one moment in all my life that I felt a bit uneasy. So for me, it was normal.
Okay. I mean, what?
Everybody had one cloth. So if people were richer, like you go to see with this dress from Wasi, others feel they are poor, but everybody is in tattered clothes, nobody worries. When I was in middle school, and I was the first boy from 7th grade to 10th grade, but from 8th grade, people were passing who were below me, their parents could afford, they go to secondary school. 9th grade, the same. 10th grade, the same. Then you had the sense that there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
You, the first boy, I got admission at one time to Prempeh College, Opokuwari, in Fansipim, Agre Memorial.
Goodness.
And all of them pass by because you cannot even go and pay the deposit so that you can go and struggle for scholarship. That is the only moment I felt a bit uncomfortable. I said, there's something, how all those people whom I was helping and everything else go to secondary school and you can't go because your parents could not afford.
Yeah.
So when I got opportunity to go to teachers college, which was free, Charlie, the course, correspondence course.
Goodness.
2.5 years after SAR 7, I had O level.
Wow.
The next year I had A level.
Oh wow.
Because, I mean, it was
you didn't leave small chance.
You won't believe that I finished Legon and taught in the final year those of my mates in the 10th grade who went to secondary school.
Wow.
So that, but other than that, for me, what people call hardship, even today, I just live like a peasant in my house.
Okay.
Yes, I drive a 4-wheel because I have to go places. But when I come home, I work in my farm.
Yeah.
As soon as you finish, I'm going to eat my apesi. Tomorrow it is fufu day.
Exactly. Healthy. Wow. So, I mean, Shemase was fun growing up. And
we play under the moon, and you have cocoyam you put in the fire after fufu. You put your cocoyam you have reserved, and then after playing.
That's supposed to be dessert. Or something. Or snack.
You make a hole at the bottom. You put in some little. Yeah, you know what it is. The man who is taking shooting
red oil.
Yeah. I've even cocoyam here.
If
you have told me you like it, I'll have put some cocoyam on fire for you.
Quite interesting. So from Shemase, and then you had some private studies, and then that landed you in London?
No. During the good old days, I think I passed economics like maybe with half a mark E.
Okay.
Geography, because geography came easy to the farmer's boy. When they say igneous rock and sedimentary rock, other people are trying to find out what it is.
But you know already.
Sedimentary rock. So I got a B.
Okay.
And those days, just with a B in geography and E, you qualified.
Okay.
5 O levels, 2 A level. Came to Legon, did BSc economics. As soon as I finished, I got a Commonwealth scholarship to do my master's.
Wow.
25, I was a master's holder.
Wow.
Came back with a car, worked with investment center, and since then, by God's grace, it has been upward.
So the first time you went to London, I mean, that was the first time from the training college was where?
Sefiri great city.
And from there, here you found yourself in London.
I came to Accra first, so I acclimatized.
Before?
Yes.
Before you went to London?
It's Legon. I started, first time I'm eating salad,
Okay.
And
that was in Legon.
Legon, and I remember one thing. They gave us some dessert, and I asked for the name. They said, Blanc Mange Napolitain. I said, Charlie. But as soon as I finished my first degree, I got a scholarship. So straight I went and did my master's and came back and I started work.
So at the UK airport, I mean, how was the feeling?
Actually, we were passing through London to go to Glasgow, so we changed. British Caledonian then, we changed and we arrived. I went with my best man whose father was UAC Karachi. And when we got there, Alex says, oh God, Mimi. I just went and looked somewhere and said, who UAC Karachi? Eba. What's it winning?
Nami.
Then Yamiya say, yeah. Hey.
Oh, wow.
We had 2 weeks for reopening. They put us in a YMCA. And we didn't have money for the 2 weeks. But we went with Gary and Shito.
Okay.
And the breakfast was for free. We came with the
hotel.
So
yes.
We would eat as much breakfast till full. And then we would take some of the rolls, which was free, and then we bought a little flask. We would pour milk into it. That's our dinner.
Okay.
Then in the afternoon, It's Gary and
Shito.
And then we went and bought egg because a whole dozen of egg was about £1. And do you know how we cook the egg? I put it under hot water from the tap.
Okay.
Then it parboil. So you put the Gary, 2 weeks. It was
That was how you survived.
for the 2 weeks before the reopening, because after that they'll give us allowance.
Yes,
and
from there,
so,
life began.
Enjoyed our time in Glasgow.
Okay. That's interesting. But I must say, you've really served your country well, and we really admire you. We appreciate you a lot. But, I mean, throughout this journey, what would you describe as your biggest challenge?
Employment-wise,
Okay.
I think there are two. What you have left out is that I also spent 11.5 years working with the UN.
Okay, you did that.
Yes, from Commonwealth 3 years, I went to the UN, spent 6.5 years in the New York.
You're so lucky.
And then during the transition of South Africa,
Okay.
when apartheid came to an end, one day I was there and my boss, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, he was then there,
Yes.
comes to my office and says that you are going to South Africa as the UN ambassador or coordinator.
Okay.
And at that time, we didn't know whether South Africa would go into civil war between the white and the blacks. I had never served in any country office during my time in the UN. And Ellen, how do you land on me that I should be? And I was being the director of the bureau. I was his chef de cabinet.
Okay.
So, why me? So I got an excuse. I said, Ellen, I won't go.
Oh.
And he asked me why. Because I knew that he might have gone to fight for me to be the UN coordinator in South Africa.
That's a big position.
One. And I said, Ellen, when I married, I told my wife that I would never leave her for 3 months under any circumstance, so I won't go. And because we don't know that that's going to be a civil war among them,
yes,
it was a non-family duty station.
So you can't go with any member of your family.
Ellen just looked at me and just walked out
away
of the office. What is in her mind? I'm here to ask her. This must be a foolish boy. You know what I have done in order to give you this honor? So I knew that I was in trouble. I sat in my office, worked the whole day. She never talked to me, nothing. We went out. About 6, 7, we were working sometimes very late. She comes to me, says, Stephen, you are going. I said, Ellen, did you hear what I said?
It's not negotiable.
I said, I won't go. He says, you are going. And he says, how are you getting me to go? You know what he did? God bless her. He had gone to the top and negotiated whether the Secretary General things. Says, you will go, you will leave your family because you can't go with your family. Every 6 weeks, we will give you a business class ticket to come
and visit your family
for a week.
Wow.
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 So it was a big challenge, but it turned out well. And you won't believe it. I was there for 6 months, and you could not even, the blacks have come from the Sowetos and the rest, they were jubilating and that things, and crime also. But I was always in my corduroy. I don't like jeans too much. Going to Soweto, Alexandria, and other things. And at the same time, the next time you are in the suit meeting Mandela and the rest, so you were moving up and down. I think that was probably one of the biggest challenges that I had. I ended up well, and I was rewarded. Do you know the reward?
No.
After I finished there, they sent me to beautiful Namibia for 4.5 years as the UN coordinator and rest rep. And Namibia was almost, compared to South Africa, was almost like they are nice people. It's a smaller country, a lot of meat to eat. So it was. So I think that probably was one of the biggest challenges that I had in my...
climbing your career ladder, but it all ended well. I mean, as an educationist, how would you describe or assess Ghana's education system? Have we lived up to expectation?
It's a sad story.
It is, I think.
It's a sad story. First of all, we have allowed the quality of our basic education to collapse in the public sector. It's so sad. The teachers are not teaching. They are qualified, far more qualified than we were, because mine was you finish start 7 and go for 4 years.
Yes.
These days, they are almost all graduates.
Yeah.
I hear that from today, there will be no people teachers teaching.
Wow.
We were having people teachers teaching alongside with us, and yet we were producing results far more and better.
Yep.
At this moment, if you go to the poor private schools, the people who are teaching there are secondary school dropouts, but all their children are literate. But go to the public sector, the average person cannot read and write because the teachers have refused to teach, and they are being allowed to get away with murder.
So sad.
In teaching in a school, only 3 things matter: the supervision, that's the authority of the head teacher, and the supervising them, insisting that teachers do teach, and holding them accountable. These have been let go at the basic level. And therefore, and you can see it graphically in our school in my village. Do you know that when people come from the 15 junior high schools, we have to spend 1 year with them to make them up to standards that you can now teach them secondary school.
Wow.
And believe me, do you know how we do it? We start from class 1.
Oh, really?
The reason is that we found that there are gaps in their education. And how do you know where they had the gap?
Gaps are.
So we start with class 1. They will spend, if 1 week they finish, we concentrate on English, mathematics, and then we teach them ICT, computer, and they all type after 1 term. So if we finish the class 1 course in 1 week, we know that they understand it.
Yeah. Then you go to the next level.
If it's 2 weeks, we go. And we spend a whole year just to remedy them.
Yeah, and bridge the gaps.
And then as a result, we are getting 100% results when they go to the senior secondary school. When they go to senior secondary school nationwide, this is the year we are celebrating that 60% passed.
Yeah.
But do you know what even that means? And that is a good result.
Yeah.
It means 40% failed.
40% failed.
And the average over the years is 50%.
Wow.
50% pass and 50% fail. Any education system which produces 50% almost failures is in dire crisis. But do you know why even the 50% passed? First, you will always have some people, God talented and that, no matter what,
Definitely.
if you put him in the hole,
they will still make
the
it.
rest, they have to pay for 2 extra classes.
Yes.
The same teachers, they won't teach them.
Yeah.
It's after the class,
Then
and
they
if you
will
don't
take
go,
extra money and teach
you
them.
will fail.
Yeah.
Because they will tell you, the teachers themselves will tell you, if you don't come, you will fail. And you will fail too.
Quite interesting.
And this is the system we are presiding over. I have always said, you know, you don't need to put more. The government is spending enough money and not getting the right output.
Yeah.
But the secret of changing it is not more money.
Yep.
Simply, and that's my extreme revolutionary one, just give notice and sack all the teachers. Period. 3 months notice during long vacation, you are no longer employed. Then ask people to apply for headship, head teachers and principals.
Yeah.
Select quality ones, put them in the schools, and then say that now, and pay them well, pay the principal and the head teacher about twice their salary.
Yeah.
Because they are so important. And say now you are free to employ whoever you want to employ. I will give you the money, but you from today have the authority to discipline them and get the results. And if you don't get the results, you, the head teacher,
you'll be
is
fired.
the one you will be held responsible. Within 1 year, the quality of education will rise from here to there. That is my extreme remedy. And the quickest way to improve education in Ghana. All the rest, not that I don't believe in textbooks, classrooms, all the teachers, education and that things. But let me tell you, unless we change the structure, the management and the accountability, every money is going down the drain. But because our universities are limited, we will still get sufficient people who will pass. But we are raising an army of dangerous, unemployable ones. And one of these days, I may be gone, but you may have your head rolling by the thieves whom you didn't train. But my last point, and that's what I want to spend my life for, is to help children 5 and 6 year olds to be literate. Because when they are literate, they need very little from a teacher.
You can do everything on their own.
My 2 granddaughters, the older ones in Australia, you know, when they went to school, their teachers say that they are going to have a conference with their parents. They said, we don't know what to do with your children. Because their age is small, but their brain is up. So then they called me that, you know, Dad, my children, they might say that, you know, we have to tomorrow go and meet their teachers. I said, go and tell their teachers, my grandchildren are not coming so much to be taught, but to have an atmosphere, you encourage them to learn. And also, children need socialization with their peers. So when they come, when it is mathematics, and he's in class 1, and he can do a 4th-year mathematics, let her sit in class 1, give her the 4th-year mathematics, and she will do her work, and the teacher spend 1 minute to go and see that she has done right. So that's how they are doing. And I want to do that one. So even though the NAT and the NAGRA think that I'm their enemy, I am going to donate the books to them. And to be put online. Everybody can download it. Because when children get literate at the ages of 5, 6, and 7, which they do even in Togo. The French child in Togo, if you go, is literate. The Ghanaian child, when he's coming to Ghana Christian, one of them, write the name of your school, of your hometown. Was it Adiemra, they mean to mean super. Oh! She has gone to school for 9 years at Adiemra. Adiemra, they mean to mean super. Thank God we are able to make them pass their WASI in 4 years with excellence.
So which among your kids is following your steps?
All of them, I laugh at them. All of them said that, you know, they are not interested in teaching. Me and my wife are teaching. It's okay. The question is this: if you do anything well, you end up as a teacher. If you are a lawyer, you go and teach at law school. If you are a doctor, you go to medical school
and teach.
Even if you are not teaching there, you are at the wards. The medical students will be brought for you to follow you.
Definitely.
So me, I didn't mind. 2 of my boys, both of them are engineers. The older one is a girl, is a medical doctor. She ended up teaching at Ghana Medical School. The other one is a manager of social services in Australia. Every now and then he calls me, Daddy, I'm busy. Why? I'm having some teaching session for my staff. I said, Nanyama. You said you didn't want teacher. The last one.
Why is it in your blood?
The last one is now the executive director of the school. Only one of them took teaching profession. And he is the topmost biology teacher in Australia now. I mean, every year, consistently. So they have they said they didn't want to teach. Directly or indirectly.
They ended up. You must be a proud father. Do you ever have time to rest? What do you do when?
Oh, me? First of all, I don't go on holidays. Because every day I have a holiday. I work whole day, and at 8:30 I fall dead asleep. and I will sleep for 7 to 8 hours non-stop.
That's good.
Actually,
Very good.
I must say that when I'm married, after 1 year, I say, thank God my wife has not divorced me. A bride who sleeps throughout the night. Don't ask me how we had our children. It's not for television.
Oh my goodness.
So really, and work is hobby. I love work. No matter what work I do, I just love it.
Yeah.
And then I rest.
Okay.
And then the weekend, Saturdays, normally I spend doing house chores with my wife.
Okay.
Right from for 35 years we married initially. We never had any helper.
Oh wow.
I pound the fufu myself. My wife
my goodness.
dries it.
Oh my goodness.
Even at GIMPA,
He's a good husband too.
me and my wife, we are in our house. I do the washing with my children. We do all of them.
Yeah.
So for me, that is Sundays. I end up all my day in church and resting.
Wow. So every day is resting day.
Yeah, every day is resting.
Alongside working.
Yes, and writing, those type of things.
Do you listen to music sometimes?
To be honest with you, what you call leisure, I have not. It has never become. It wasn't if you are once you are looking for survivor. So I really don't sit down that I'm listening to music.
Okay.
The only music when I go to church, I like dancing with church music.
Okay.
But that's all. I don't listen to music. Surprisingly, my reading habit is so bad. You know, when I book. So I don't read that much. I read the Bible much, almost through the Bible every year and a few Christian literature.
Okay.
But for example, my children read about 4 times faster than me because of how I taught them to read. So I've never joined any club in my life, whether even the good ones like,
Lions Club.
Lions Club, the other one,
Rotary
Club, or, going to join golf club or
tennis club.
My life is centered around 3 locals: working, family, church, and sleeping. That's been my life. So, and of course, I do a lot of writing work as part of it. But I have a very, very simple
life.
Very simple
and
life.
I think the resting is also helping, because
helps,
at 74, I must say you look very healthy, very strong for your age. And we just appreciate you for what you've been doing for Mother Ghana. Thank you so much for opening up to us. We really, really appreciate you. Keep up the good work. God bless you. Viewers, thank you so much for watching. Same time next week, God willing, we'll be bringing you another edition of PM Personality Profile. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.